JSE ending marginally weaker on Tuesday. Today, investors will be looking for fresh clues as to the interest rates trajectory. Wayne McCurrie is FNB Wealth and Investments Portfolio Manager, joins us now for a quick update on how things are shaping up at the JSE. Wayne, good morning to you. Good to have you. Let's start off with that quick run of how the local index, including the currency, are faring in early trade.
Well, it's a little bit down today, so not dissimilar to yesterday. And in fact, the shares that went down yesterday, MTN, Telkom, etc., are also weaker again this morning, down 3 or 4%. There's been no news out on them. Otherwise, the rest of the market is basically flat to slightly down, and no other big shares have got a huge price movement so far this morning. The Rand's trading very much as it did yesterday at 18.84. Brent crude is still sitting just above $82 a barrel, so also not much change there. But I think you summarized it very well in your introduction. The world, South Africa, stock markets are waiting for this direction of interest rates. Not which way they're going. We know they're going to be cut, but it's a question of when. And that's been the case this whole year so far.
Let's quickly launch into company news. Astral Foods publishing a voluntary update. Anything special for you from that update?
Yes, look, I mean, whenever a company publishes a voluntary update, it's either extremely good news or extremely bad news. So this is extremely good news because last year so many things went wrong with Astral. I mean, they had a perfect storm. They had the bird flu. They had water supply issues. The huge amount of load shedding we had earlier on in the year, high input on their feed costs. They were bombarded by all sorts of problems. So they're giving a report back on the first quarter of their new financial year, and they say things are a lot better. So they expect the profits to increase quite substantially. But of course, you're coming off, last year was the first time in Astral's history that they showed a loss. So the market was expecting this, but it's still a good update, and it's very happy to see that Astral is at last putting most of their problems behind them.
Let's talk Transaction Capital. It's announced that it is pursuing the unbundling of the We Buy Cars, and it aims to list it, this used car seller, separately on the stock exchange. Your views on this development?
It's extremely good. I mean, Transaction Capital started out with the taxi business and the loan business where they recovered loans. Then they bought We Buy Cars a couple of years ago, and now the taxi business has essentially gone completely backwards. It's bankrupt, essentially. And We Buy Cars is by far the best part of their business, and to unlock some value, to segregate it from the bad part of the business, they're going to list separately. So this is very, very good news. And the Transaction Capital share price is up about 14% today on that news. But this is really good news for, quite honestly, long-suffering Transaction Capital shareholders for the last year or so.
Well, interesting developments there. Let's conclude with KPMG and the liquidators of the defunct VBS Mutual Bank. They've reached a confidential out-of-court settlement in their long-running dispute. Help us make sense of those developments.
Well, I wish we could make more sense if it wasn't confidential and we know a little bit more. But very similar to Steinhoff, KPMG, auditors, VBS, we all know the debacle that happened there and the fraud and the massive loss of money by municipalities and ordinary people who put their money into VBS. I mean, it is a true catastrophe and a very bad reflection on our governance in South Africa. But it doesn't help that these reports are confidential. How much did KPMG pay? What did they admit to getting wrong, etc., etc.? It should almost, these documents should almost by law be of public interest.
Wayne McCurrie, I couldn't have put it better. Thank you very much. He is the FNB Wealth and Investments, a senior portfolio manager there.